Hey everyone, I'm Margot Kennedy, and this is my business partner, Christy Brock.
Hi.
And we are WeCre. We invest in commercial real estate. We wanted to take a few minutes and talk to you a little bit about our great new deal in Jackson, Mississippi. We are purchasing Jackson Mini Storage, and it is just, we've had one great surprise after another. So, Christy, I'll let you start.
This deal has evolved tremendously from when we first underwrote it until now. And so we just wanted to give you a little color background on some of the changes and why this deal has just gotten more and more interesting and exciting for us. When we first found this deal and underwrote it, you're underwriting from home. You're not on the ground, and it takes getting on the ground to then start an evolution of your actual underwriting. And we made our offer based on our initial underwriting, and we're very conservative in our estimates always. And our estimates were based on our information, also based on our property management company's projections. And so then, we got in contract, we went boots on the ground, and that was a heck of a couple of days. We were under a tornado warning, which was actually fantastic. And we'll get into a little bit more about that later. But it really gave us a chance to understand and see some of the things that you can't see when you're sitting home writing and looking and trying to understand what can this do, what's wrong with it, what needs to happen. So that's where, things really got interesting. So after being on the ground, and then Margot, her part is dealing with contractors, getting bids. So Margot, talk about some of the things that have happened with us getting bids.
Well, one of the first things we realized when we got to the property is that the driveways needed some attention. So we put an estimate in our budget and got several bids, and the bid that was most what we wanted to do was actually half of what we had budgeted. So that was some great news. We're not going to change the budget, but it's just sort of a bonus, and it prepares us in case anything unexpected does come up, which we don't think will happen.
And when we were on the ground, day one, it was a sunny, beautiful day in Jackson, Mississippi. And we toured and we thought, ooh, there looks like there's drainage problems. And then we had that night, we had the tornado warning.
Torrential rain.
Oh my goodness. We got wet. We went to dinner. We got wet. We ran from the car to the restaurant. We were soaked. But it was great because the next day we went to the property for day 2 of our due diligence, and no drainage problems.
Nope.
No,
not at all.
Minimal standing water. So we were very happy because, that night we were ready to put in our budget. We've got to add drainage. Maybe we need French drains. We need something that's going to move this water. As it turns out, it's really just a management, poor maintenance problem that we identified.
Right.
And tell us some of the other bids. So you also got our insurance quotes, our property tax quotes. How have those?
We got the insurance quotes, and I went back to our carrier because it's been several months, and our agent, and wanted him to give us fresh numbers to make sure nothing has changed dramatically, because as we know, a lot of states are very badly affected by insurance rates right now, and the change is negligible. Virtually nothing. One went up a little, one went down a little. It all evens out to a nice even amount. And so that was great news. And then as far as the real estate taxes go, we've learned that in that state and that county, they reassess every 4 years. So it won't affect us this year. It could affect us next year. Every 4 years is the most frequent. There are some years where they miss a year. And the assessment is based on, it's always a very small amount, and it's not based on your purchase price, which is great news because that is always a concern when you purchase in an area. Yeah, whether that's going to affect it, and it's not going to. It's more likely to be affected by, things we do to improve the property. But even that is so minimal. Their assessments are like considered to be 5% or 15% of what they consider to be the value, and that value is way less than reality. So we should have not any big surprises there.
And after you spoke with the county, something that was surprising to me, because prior to speaking to the county, you had gone back many years and looked at what has actually happened. And then, and you asked them, hey, when are we being reassessed? And the answer was, well, we're not sure. So,
I said, has the assessor been out? When does he go out? They didn't know. And actually, the last time it went up to the rate it is now, it had been the same for 6 years. So it's not necessarily every 4 years, or I should say maybe they reassess. Well, that doesn't make sense. The numbers don't work out. So yeah, it isn't every 4 years. It's supposed to be. They may miss it sometimes, but what they reassess at is very minimal changes. They have to really see that something big has been done.
right. But
So
again,
painting shouldn't make a big difference like we're going to do.
right. But to be conservative, we're assuming that, hey, we're going to get reassessed next year. And we put in our underwriting, well, what's kind of worst case scenario, which is significantly higher than any change in the past. The city of Jackson and Hinds County has been fantastic to work with. And you don't normally say that about city government, county government, state government. They've both been fantastic. Let's talk really quickly about our on the ground experience. When we are on the ground, we inspect each and every unit. We note the condition of the unit, occupied, overlocked, exactly what's going on. So we did a very thorough report that we normally do, and we noticed some irregularities versus the rental report, which allowed us to then have a very interesting and good conversation with the listing broker. And we said, hey, you know what? We think, we know management is not great here, but we think you have, more problems than you're aware of. And that was a really good conversation, because we had been telling them all along, hey, this is our business plan. We're going to bring in this third-party manager. They're going to come in. They're great. They've got a track record. And he's been passing that information along to the seller. So the seller has been very happy with us, was very happy to understand, okay, this is one of the first times they've had a third party come in and assess what's going on. And so the seller was very happy to hear that, the things that they thought were happening, the condition, it's not great. They thought it wasn't great. They got verification. But what's really cool for us is they began implementing our business plan. So essentially, it's jump started.
A head start. Yep.
We've got about a month head start on what we're doing. And so instead of us taking over and having to reconfirm what's happening and, getting our property manager up and running, they're already up and running.
Already started. Yeah.
Right. Another great thing about that is it reduced our takeover costs. Our takeover costs are less because the current seller has taken on some of those costs. It's just a win-win all around. The seller is very happy that everything is moving forward. We are super happy because our business plan is already being implemented prior to us closing on the acquisition. The deal just keeps getting more interesting.
And on another positive note, this seller really has been great to work with and indirectly. But we are currently negotiating a credit at closing for driveway repairs. So that's a great thing.
And that's not going to be in the underwriting. We're not going to revise our underwriting. So, when we're projecting that we're going to achieve a 23% annualized return, all of these improvements in our costs and our expenses, all of these just give us even more confidence in our ability to hit those targets. So, we're thrilled about this deal. And, what we'd really like is, hey, if you have questions after looking at our 16-minute introduction video to the project, or after seeing this, please reach out to us, schedule a time, let's talk. It's a very interesting deal, and we look forward to working with all of you as investors and LP partners with us.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.